over here. It's also the capital of the Federation and thus permit locked until you make rather good friends with them, and today you made good friends with them. How can people live on or in the sun or in the orbit of the sun? Are they on like a space station in orbit around the sun? What? How does this work, Liara? Other people have other names for it. Did you know that's one of the reasons our planet doesn't get good reviews? Only 1 star. I mean, our planet isn't the only one with only 1 star. Every planet in the solar system only has 1 star. But our planet only has 1 moon. Pretty sure we're the only planet in the solar system that only has 1 moon. Gonna make friends with them, buy their fancy starship, then fuck off and tell them they suck. Pluto? Yeah, but see, they've redefined it and they don't consider Pluto a planet anymore. But to me, it's still a planet. It was the smallest planet in our solar system when I went to school. Is that what they call it? Dwarf planet? I thought they called it planetoid or something silly. That is not how you spell the name of that planet. There you go. Wanderer's got it. Uranus has a bunch of moons. Yeah, most of the other planets have a bunch of moons. Does Pluto have 1 moon or no moons? Pluto has 1 moon that is 80% of its size, so it can be considered a binary planet. Planetesimal. Oh, Charon is the moon of Pluto. And also is the shepherd of the dead souls. Interesting. But dead souls get shipped off to Pluto, do they? Charon or Charon? Do they actually pronounce the ch? I can never remember that. Of course, now I'm singing Don't Pay the Ferryman in my head. You know that if you use the original Greek pronunciation, it would be Uranus and not Uranus. Oh, it's Chiron, is it? Somebody else. Greeks are weird. I mean, they probably think that the way we've converted their language to Latin is weird as well, so you know. Fair. I was actually watching a game show with Mum because she loves them. Tipping Point again? It would have been the Tipping Point or the Chase. I think it was the Tipping Point. And one of the questions was something along the lines of which character of the Greek alphabet is also a word used to describe particular kind of masculine behaviour or something or other. And of course the answer they were looking for was alpha, right? And the person the question was posed to was a man, I would say in his 50s or 60s, who had no clue whatsoever. And the young woman who answered it correctly gave the answer, and you could see on his face that he still had no idea whatsoever. And I was like, how, or beta is another one as well, how do you get to be a man in your 50s or 60s and you don't know some of the most common letters of the Greek alphabet? And those are the moments where I realised that my education is kind of unique, because I picked up things from all over the place. But like, not everybody knows the entire Greek alphabet, but I would have thought most people knew alpha, beta, omega, and some of the more well-known ones. Pi is one, yeah. Or psi, no. What is the no? An S is one as well. Sigma? Sigma? Greek alphabet? Maybe he knew the alphabet, didn't know the alphabet. No, that's what I mean. She said the answer, and there was still no recognition on his face. Like, that much I would have understood if he was like, oh, I don't know. But then, yeah, usually when you know that alpha is a letter of the Greek alphabet, there's some sort of, you know, recognition on the face. There was nothing. It was like, wow, okay, interesting. It's not like it's essential knowledge, right? You can get through life without knowing the Greek alphabet, obviously. But yeah, it just intrigued me that someone of that age did not know it. It's Latin and Greek and those sorts of things were... I mean, my mother was taught Latin in school. Anyway, that's my little anecdote for today. You can't know any kind of formal science or math without knowing Greek, and a significant part of literature relies on Latin. Yes, but that doesn't mean that you have to know that it is Greek or that it is Latin, if that makes sense. Like, you can know and recognize the character because you've learnt about it through your science, for example, without knowing that it originates with the Greek alphabet. I mean, weird, but you can. The one I thought was interesting recently is that the wordle of the day was posse, P-O-S-S-E. I had always thought that that was a Spanish or like Spain Spanish or South American Spanish term, but it's actually not. It comes from Latin, which I found out when I looked it up, because I'm like, that's not an English word. Well, yes, it is, actually. We stole it from Latin, like most of our language. So there you go. Thing I learned. But we have a game to play. Let's do that. Although if you have your own silly little anecdotes you'd like to share, please go ahead. I want to hear them. Now, where did we leave off? Ah, yes. That's right. We are trying to lift all things up. Well, I assume that that's what we're trying to do. I think that we're going to have to fix these. This. I put this one here and this one. No, I can't. Then if I take one of these out, they do that. Which I am guessing I have to use to my advantage in some way. How on earth am I going to get one into the very bottom? Here. I suppose I don't have to, do I? Really? But I do need to get this one down. So. There. No, this needs to go there. And can I lift it up? How far do I need to take it? Further than that, obviously. At the door of despair. Okay. So, hang on, what was I just thinking? Do that. Can I do this? No. How the frick-frack paddywhack am I meant to do this? You can't remember if this is no backseating or no backseating if you haven't played the game. The other way around. No backseating if you have played the game. But if you would like to make suggestions, you can see a way to solve the puzzle, but you don't actually know the answer, then suggest a way. But if you do know the answer, please don't tell me, because that's no fun for anybody. This. I think we're going to have to find a way to pull this up. Not from there. What if we tried it from here? Can I get to there? No. That's... Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I still don't know how to do this even after however many streams. Yes, all the bars will lift together, but I need to get them in a line at the bottom in order to be able to lift them all the way to the top, and I cannot figure out how to get one of the sliders into here. And now I've got one stranded out there. I'm going to have to somehow lift this up and then slide one across, but that means I need to have one down here available to slide across. And as soon as you uncouple any of them, all three drop down. So I genuinely don't know how to do this at all. And the more I think about it, the less I understand how I'm meant to do it. Interesting. Right, because I haven't moved these, have I? How do I use that to my advantage? Because yeah, as soon as I release them... wasn't okay, so that was interesting. Yeah, see, I can't lift the last one without lifting the third one. I'm doing this wrong. This is definitely not going to work the way I think it is. And I actually don't even really understand the goal, to be honest. Oh, hang on, they're kind of in a line. This one's in the way. I can do... No, I can't do that. Why can't I do that? I thought I could do that. There was a thing that I could do that the others didn't drop. It's a puzzle game, Forgotten Star. Not thinking is definitely not going to solve the puzzles. That's as high as I can get it. Wait, hang on. That's as high as I could. Never mind. Apparently that was as high as I needed to go. There you go. Weird. What's this? Oh, yeah, okay, so I just needed to clear this. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, so now we can get through to the next room, which presumably is actually the secret library. Is it just me, or is there no game sounds? Shouldn't there have been game sounds when the door closed? There was no, like, clunk of the door closing or anything. It's weird. Ah! We are needing to go back in time? Alright. 1466. Blueprints after this. Ha ha. Ah, this will be the secret society. Wait, is this the secret society? Is this where they're based? Oh dear, have we walked straight into the lion's den? I feel like maybe we have. There was one of these could see us. Yeah, like I said, one of them could see us. Alright, what have we read? We're up to here. I'm getting ever closer to the place I seek. I find myself in a room high above the scriptorium from which I started this adventure with Master Leonardo. A quick look through the window reassured me that he is in no danger, and I relaxed a little. Now I need to concentrate on searching this room. I must be just a few steps away from the Chronicle Ordo Justilialis. This is it! I'm at my destination, the secret library which will hopefully shed some light on current and past events. I glanced into the rich past of this venerable place and witnessed something truly extraordinary. In the room were a dozen or more figures robed in red, figures I have seen several times, always only for a moment. But on this occasion I had enough time to inspect these mysterious figures, mercilessly trapped in a single frozen moment of time. They stood arranged in lines for some significant ceremony. Forward, apart from the rest, a single dominant figure led the ceremony. And again, as I witnessed before, I saw that the binding chains of time had no effect on it as it felt my presence. There is no doubt in my mind that this ceremony or rite had something to do with the book, the order, and this monastery. My curiosity is so powerful, I hope nothing terrible happens as I quickly look through the book before taking it back to Master Leonardo. Oh dear. Alright. I'm assuming that we're looking in the O section, right? Yorkshire Gold Tea. Nice. So wasn't there supposed to be a seat, like I can see the figure 8, but I can't see the I, like the letter I? Supposed to have all letter I, letter O, and the number 8. Don't see the letter I, unless it's on the key itself, like this end. Shh, it's not really. Oh, you think it's the shape? Yeah, the ocular eye as opposed to the letter I. Good point, good point. Now, how do I know which of these padlocks to open? I just try each of them. Okay, it doesn't go in any of them. Hey, Zuasha! How you doing? I'm aware of the in-game hints, Forgotten Star, but the problem with the in-game hints is they're shit. They do not actually tell you anything that you don't already know. Hey, Shayna, some good dooming to you. Okay. Can I zoom in? Oh, hang on, what's this? Aha. Gosh, this library just keeps going and going and going. You saw that, did you? Well done. I wanted to look around, it wouldn't let me. In the year
1212, since the birth of Christ, Friedrich, the only son of Heinrich Stauffer, to his father's glorious throne arose. By Providence chosen, though only 16 years old, clever and strong, he was a king most bold. Challenges were plentiful, but his judgments full of wisdom. Soon many a vassal, duke, or lord swore fealty to his kingdom. Monarch Roger, a patron to the erudite and all the wise men, every scholar, no matter their faith, was welcomed to his realm. His deeds were glorious, his subjects loved him more and more, his dominion prospered like never before.
I hear a but.
Soon the rumors were spread from the east to the west about Roger, the ruler of Christians, by God himself blessed. This praise reached Pope Gregory, but he froze, irked by hearing of another man as one God chose. Gregory's envy would lead to consequences most dire. No living soul could save Friedrich from his ire. With excommunication being his only other fate, Roger rode to Palestine on a crusade to save his state. Even with his most trusted knights, a dangerous proposition. Journey long, perilous and exhausting, a truly risky mission. Many a good man dead due to illness or fatigue. That was the true terror of the Pope's intrigue. One day a desert storm came, raged and refused to wane, threatening to end both their lives and the campaign. It seemed that for the Emperor's army all hope was lost. Sentries were ordered to find shelter, no matter the cost. At the last moment, the group's scouts spotted a cave. Though ominous and sinister, they must choose to be brave. Roger's men entered the grotto with uneasy feel, making camp in surroundings that were most unreal. Days went by, the storm unwavering, no sign it would clear. Friedrich and his chosen explored their shelter without fear. Delving deeper into their shelter, anything but small, dark passages lined by pillars receded to a large hall. Friedrich and his company were men loyal and seasoned, but in their hearts was dread which could not be reasoned. Architecture meant not for living men, vast and bold, perhaps chiseled by some mysterious giants of old. Distracted from his reverie by a glimmer of light, Roger saw a part of metal buried in the sand upright. A machine, a gate, centuries old, with it he must return. What trove of lost knowledge from it could he learn? Friedrich, albeit short on time, researched that device. Its power to grant wisdom should more than suffice. Gate to the Temple of Wisdom, the device was now called. It would lead to understanding of deep truths unequaled. In much higher spirits, knights loaded the gate on the caravan, and once again their journey, their crusade has began. The dread lifted, resolve firmer than ever before, no longer fearful of what for them lay in store. No more was the journey punishment meant by the Pope. Now their quest was meaningful, their hearts full of hope.
Still waiting for a but?
In the end, Roger gained control of Jerusalem without blood spilt, opened the Holy Land to pilgrims again, defensive walls rebuilt. City's crown rested on emperor's noble head. With wise Sultan al-Kamil he shared his bread. People sang only praise for their emperor once again. With glory and magnificence he continued his reign. Through the gate to the Temple of Wisdom, Friedrich often went. To learn its secrets, to further knowledge was his lustrous intent. He worked closely with those most loyal, those he chose. Thus, a new order of Knights Noble, order of justice, arose. Emperor Friedrich, always at their point, titled Grand Master, felt he did enough to sate Pope's anger, averted disaster. But to Gregory's ears were whispered rumors terrible, stories about a deal with the devil and lies unbearable, about how Rogger's order was built to conceal a devil's gift, and since the Pope believed it, it caused an irreparable rift. Not long before the Emperor was excommunicated, by all the people of faith, he was to be isolated. Residents of Jerusalem, who just a year ago called him their savior, now cast him out, the Pope to blame for this behavior. The Emperor by this iniquity was aback taken. All the Pope's intrigues left him quite shaken. When he finally retreated to Italy and his throne, he lived for his order of justice and his land alone. Rogger guarded the secrets of the order, for his enemies would not cease. Wanted the gate more than secure, no longer believing in peace. A plan born both from his genial mind and godly inspiration, to build a fortress for the order, to be held in awe by the whole nation. To the castle's construction, he devoted his life. 8 massive walls to survive any strife, 8 watchtowers with windows peering over the countryside, eternally guarded by 8 men most loyal and eagle-eyed. 8 sides to the courtyard for the men to meet and rest. In the middle of it all, an 8-sided podium protected best. On this podium, the gate to the Temple of Wisdom was erected. By all the knights, not to be worshipped, but to be respected. So it was created, for both the lost and the wise it did shine. Templum Justitia, the temple of justice, the castle, the shrine. It was quarters of the order by the wise Placentinus foretold. Inside were troves of wisdom and power, more precious than gold. Even for the wise and powerful flies the time. Men became old, children rose to their prime. After the death of Rogger, Grand Master first, others came, best of the order, in wisdom versed. One after another silent, hidden, but each of virtue measure, the gate to the Temple of Wisdom, always their treasure. Generation after generation, the secret was keeping, wealth and wisdom gaining, never relenting, never sleeping. But the year 1465 after Christ came, and
We're
for
in
the order of
1506.
justice, the world was never the same.
Where, what, 40 years later?
There he is! Look up! In the window, across the room! Get in!
Oh dear. That's the end of the game. I was quite impressed that they managed to tell that story in rhyming couplet, but in a way that was actually understandable by those of us who are not so great with poetry. Finished the House of Da Vinci 2 in 10 hours, 26 minutes and 40 seconds. There is a House of Da Vinci 3. I do own it. If we continue the tradition, we will play it at Christmas this year. Now, there was chat happening while we were watching that last scene, which doesn't actually tell us what happened to the Temple of the Gate of Wisdom, Justice, Order of Justice in 1465, just that something did. I was kind of assuming that the library we were in was that castle. I had a look at Dinocat Forgotten Star. I do think that you have a very different interest in games than I do. I don't do platform games except with some exceptions at some times of the year. Marsha reached a 25 stream streak. Says it's a little known fact that tuxedo cats' coats were not the result of selective breeding by humans, but evolved to help them thrive in their native habitat, black tie galas. Camouflaged in their formal wear, they feed on a diet of cocktail shrimp, caviar, and canapes. He wishes. Nobody has only one taste, but yours and mine differs greatly. All right, let's go to the BRB. Well, I hadn't expected it to take us quite so little time, or I might have pushed through last time.